Hi, everybody. Christoph Trapp here with Buildings Media, and I'm joined by Janelle Penny, the senior editor.
Hi.
And Janelle has been with Buildings, the Buildings publication, for how long?
7.5 years.
7.5 years. So she's our featured expert today to talk about data center cooling.
Yeah.
And I'm really just here to kick us off, to give everybody some time to show up. And feel free to share, invite your friends, anybody else, facility managers, building owners, anybody who might be interested in the topic. We'll talk about the latest trends in data center cooling. So of course, if you have a data center, it might be of interest to hear these trends. It will be available for replay later on. We'll keep this forever and ever. Everything on the web, of course, sticks around. So, and I think there's an article too.
Yes, we're also going to be publishing show notes after the webinar early next week, where you can read a recap of this video and learn a little bit more about some of the latest trends in data center cooling.
So why is data center cooling such a big deal?
Well, data centers are notorious energy hogs, and obviously that gets expensive really quickly, what with the massive draw of power that some of these things have. So anything that facilities managers can do to make that less expensive or even just more efficient can really save a lot of money.
Very interesting. So do you want to dive right in and share the top trends and what the impact is on our viewers?
Yeah, let's get to it. So liquid-based cooling systems have gotten quite a bit more attention lately. Some of the difficulties that people have had with, say, oil-based coolants have been worked out, so it's a little bit of a less risky investment nowadays. People tend to like those because liquids transfer heat much more efficiently than air does. So when the total cost of ownership becomes lower and some of these systems become more affordable, the savings can be pretty significant. Warm water cold plate technology is one of the systems that's gaining a lot more popularity nowadays. How it works is the plates move liquid under devices, so it's not really submerged, but the fact that you're using warm water in them instead of cold water means that you're not investing in a chiller to make the cold water. Water side economizers you may also be familiar with. They work a lot like air-based models, except that, again, the water or liquid coolant rather uses the outside conditions to offset some of the inside cooling like the air models, but a water side model uses water loops and a liquid-to-liquid heat exchanger instead, so it's a little bit different. And immersion cooling is an interesting one as well. The servers are filled with fluid or actually placed in tanks of it. And one of the concerns early on about these was that you have a lot of oil-based coolant on site, so there's an inherent risk there. And people were also concerned about the just the space utilization of having all these tanks on site. But some of those have been worked out, so they are starting to gain popularity in the market now, I've noticed. Portable cooling is also, that's something that's been around for years. You may also have heard it called spot cooling, but they're increasingly being used as primary cooling in places like in-building server rooms for facilities that don't have their own data centers. And those are great because they're usually cheaper than beefing up your permanent system, and you can put them wherever you need them. Literally, that's the portable aspect. And we're actually going to be touching on this in a webinar pretty soon, co-sponsored by Move and Cool, which is a spot cooling manufacturer. You can learn more about that at the end of the webinar, or at the end of this video. And smarter airflow management is the third and one of the more important things that you can do. Good space management means that whatever HVAC you do have doesn't have to work as hard. So effective containment strategies like hot air, cold air, configurations, separating the equipment into aisles, really just trying to minimize the hot and cold air mixing so that you're not cooling the same air twice. Just space configurations and smarter strategies like that can go a long way towards saving you money.
Great. Well, I'm still here, guys, in case you were wondering, you missed me. But very interesting overview, of course, and that's always a thing, top of mind, right, for building owners and facility managers.
Right.
to save money, right? How are you most efficient?
Mm-hmm.
So what are people struggling with on these trends, or what's top of mind for people?
Well, in terms of cost and risk, liquid cooling has actually improved quite a bit from some of the first generation technologies that you might have seen. So people are really starting to catch on to how low the total cost of ownership is, and it's not as risky as it has been in the past. So that might be something that people are not really struggling with, but still coming to understand that it can save them money.
Mm-hmm. So what's the best way to save money on these things?
Sure. Well, it's really depends on your particular facility, but one of the smartest things that you can do is just to invest in good management strategies and learn how to optimize what you've got and where you might need to beef up your cooling technology. And I'm glad that you mentioned the best thing that you can do, because we actually have a webinar coming up on May 23rd. It's called Optimizing Existing Data Centers to Increase Efficiencies and Lower Operating Costs. And it's going to be presented by Chuck Kinski. He's an engineer from Bala Consulting Engineers, and he's going to be talking about HVAC and daily operations specifically for data centers. It's co-sponsored by Move and Cool and Yaskawa, and it's going to have some great tips. So please check it out on May 23rd at 1 p.m. Eastern.
And on May 23rd, basically that will be the live version, so people can ask questions.
Yep.
But it'll be available for on demand for who knows how long.
Yep. On our Buildings education platform for at least a year.
At least a year. Yep.
Yeah.
Great. And if you have any other questions, how can people get a hold of you?
You can tweet at us at Buildings Media, or you can email us. Our contact information is available at Buildings.com.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for the overview.
Hopefully
that was helpful to everybody. Hopefully it'll help you make your cooling efficient. And if you have any questions that we didn't get to during today's broadcast, feel free to ship them over directly on Twitter or through the website as well. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.